Well, everybody, I have talked about this a couple times now, and it's really interesting how this story went and how vindicated I feel. It was really another instance of, like, me being proven right. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, just browsing around, trying to find fun content to listen to while I play video games. And some time ago, I was playing through Wrath of the Lich King Classic, really just searching for some new content to listen to while I grind out levels. It is quite the grind, level 70 to 80 in Waddle K Classic. So, I'm just questing through Grizzly Hills, beautiful place, and I put on a video by a big channel who has very flashy thumbnails, very, just generally very, very, magnetic thumbnails. These videos all go viral, millions of views within a day, from SunnyV2. And I watched a couple of his videos, and over time, something about them just felt wrong to me. It really felt like this guy is trying really hard not to do these, impartial documentary-style breakdowns of all the drama these content creators have been through, which on its own was already very clearly shameless and clickbaity. Just, he'll dig up, 6-year-old drama from a content creator and, dig it back up to try to, make money off of it and make it relevant again. That was always kind of sussy to me. Another thing he also did was essentially base... Something he had a tendency to do was if he saw a YouTuber or content creator start to suffer in the algorithm or monetarily, that could not be because because something bad happened to them. Yeah, this is the Carl effect guy. That could not be because something bad happened to them. That has to be because they're a bad person, they did something wrong, and now they're being punished. So if a YouTuber has fallen off, quote unquote, and doesn't do as well as they used to, he will manufacture a narrative, very evidently so, about why that drop in viewership happened. It was, 99% of the time for YouTubers, it's just the algorithm decides, nope, you're done now. We're moving away from you, and your channel just kind of dies out. But he has to make it an actual takedown, right? It has to be a narrative of how this creator fell because of a line of events of death by 1,000 cuts of sorts, because it needs to be an entertaining, compelling, edge of your seat type thing. This is the same guy who said Mr. Beast needs to get rid of his friend off the channel because trans. Yeah, this is the same guy, but we're getting to that. So after a couple of his videos, I just started to really not like the dude, but I could not get him out of my recommended. So a while ago, I made a video about why I don't like SunnyV2. Had a fair amount of support on it. There was a decent amount of pushback, but overall, people thought I made some good points. Then Big Joel made a very brief, 2-minute long rant about a recent not recent, but at the time recent SunnyV2 video that was just weird to him. And he basically explained the whole narrative issue that he has with SunnyV2, and that I also had, and really put into words well. And so that was the point where SunnyV2 actually started to get into the attention of people, and people started to really hate the guy. But then from there... Then not Carl Jacobs, Chris Tyson came out as trans, and Mr. Beast came out in support. Essentially, SunnyV2 went viral, and in a negative way. People were shitting on him for a video he made after Mr. Beast came out in support of Chris Tyson, saying that Mr. Beast is going to basically fail, his channel's going to suffer, he's going to lose a massive amount of support because he is making a political statement and being politically divisive by supporting his trans friend. It was really stupid. I imagine you'll hear a very warped version of these events from the video we're about to watch, but SunnyV2, despite getting a lot of shit on Twitter, didn't really suffer from this all that much because he was cultivating an audience of very dumb, very low IQ reactionaries in the first place. So getting exposed as such just wasn't really bad for him. He hasn't really suffered much from this, although I will say his ability to build relationships with other content creators has been severely hindered, as he will forever be known as the guy who is transphobic to Mr. Beast's friend, to, basically summarize it. Anyway, this video was released by a small right-wing channel by the name of Ryan Pictures, 15,500 subscribers. Not a very large channel, but this video did get a lot of views in the last 4 days. The video is called How SunnyV2 Cheated. Cancel culture. Get ready for some serious cringe.
SunnyV2 showed us something that has never been done before: how to beat cancel culture. After being under the aim of prominent creators like
We're off to a great start.
Mr. Beast and the entirety of the internet, following allegations of transphobia, it seemed like SunnyV2 was at his closest to being cancelled. However, none of this really had an effect on him, because you see, SunnyV2 has studied cancel culture for the past years, learning its habits and its tricks, and it turns out, SunnyV2 found a way to defeat it. His game plan: never apologize. However, before we dive into
Are we seriously getting a whole fucking, like, highly edited SunnyV2 clone video about how the best way to respond to getting cancelled is just not acknowledge it and to keep uploading? No fucking shit. The guy's a grifter. That's what grifters do. They just keep uploading. They only care about money. You have to sell your soul and every last bit of emotion and guilt you have in your body and be completely shameless to succeed at this. SunnyV2 sold his soul a long time ago. Of course, he wouldn't apologize. What?
to the tactics used by SunnyV2 to maneuver his way through cancel culture, we need to understand how he found himself in controversy in the first place. On the 13th of April, Sunny posted a highly controversial video titled "Why Chris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for Mr. Beast," in which he would discuss Chris Tyson, a staple member in the Mr. Beast crew, and how coming out as transgender will impact the Mr. Beast brand. Initially, Sunny explored the subtle hints that Chris was gradually adopting feminine characteristics, before explaining how his transformation will affect his family. However,
well, we're blatantly misgendering here, so we know the channel's, like, very much right-wing already. Yeah, so basically, what this guy is saying is pretty stupid, because what SunnyV2 has done is staked himself in the ground as a transphobic figure. This is a position that is untenable in the long term. His content is trying to appeal to normies and not to the general right-wing audience. He has now whittled his audience down to just that. Chris uses she/her pronouns now. She changed her name to Kris Tyson. So yeah, also Zan, the video is a bit louder than you. Okay, I'll turn it down. Yeah, so basically, all SunnyV2 did was establish himself as a transphobic YouTuber. Left-wing or moderate or normie content creators that don't want to associate with that are never going to support him, and if anything, are going to shit on him. Like Anthony Padilla, for example. Sorry, Padilla. I don't want to mispronounce his name. Anthony Padilla recently had Chris Tyson on his show, and like, these are big names, right? Like, none of these big names in the content creation space are ever going to work with you or like you if this is how you've kind of staked yourself. SunnyV2 is kind of now known and established as like one of those parasitic leeches of the internet, much like those AI text-to-speech channels that just like flood YouTube with top 10 most dangerous roller coasters in the world, top 10 most crazy water slides ever, top 10 most awesome beaches of all time. It's like AI text-to-speech shit, but they still have millions of views because it just floods the algorithm and gets lots of views, but nobody on YouTube, no content creator would ever endorse or work with a channel like this. So that's basically where SunnyV2 has staked himself. He is essentially barred himself from being a large mainstream normie content creator and has now staked himself as problematic. And I have no doubt in the next few years, if he wants to maintain the level of prominence he has now, he's going to have to walk back the transphobic shit because, once again, he picked a fight with the largest YouTuber pretty much in the world, and the entire internet and MrBeast fan base remembers him as that. Also, you guys have to remember, by the way, MrBeast's fans are the next generation of YouTubers. You guys know that, right? You guys know how, like, all the biggest YouTubers nowadays were all inspired by OG YouTubers? You guys know that in, like, 5 to 6 years, your average MrBeast fan is going to be, like, 16, 17, making their own channel. It's already happening. They're making their own channel and getting inspired and like, growing up and doing their own thing. The next generation of YouTubers is going to be a bunch of MrBeast fans who grew up on his content and are going to have been inspired by him, just like MrBeast was inspired by YouTubers that came before him. It will, Akira Tanakel. People have been saying YouTube won't exist in 5 years for 10 years.
However, the video quickly took a controversial turn, because unlike previous videos, Sunny ventured into territory that many felt crossed the line, sharing strong opinions on Chris's over-the-top LGBT character, and how his transition will ultimately affect the Mr.
Over-the-top LGBT character? She's just trans. She's just, there's no over-the-topness, there's no character, she's just trans.
Beast brand. Sunny frequently showcased random comments expressing their disgust towards Chris's transformation, which made it seem like he was cherry-picking specific comments to support his narrative.
This is what you do when you personally are not brave enough to come out and say that this is your feelings on the matter, so you're relegated to like
Good take from Hassan here.
Comments that you're
Rare,
reading off of YouTube responses. Some of the most unhinged people on the planet, right under, again, under the protection of anonymity, under YouTube videos. That is a psychotic thing to base an entire video off of.
People believe Sunny was eager to exaggerate the situation in order to push his belief that Chris's transition...
Not necessarily. I think SunnyV2 is a reactionary himself, but his politics are not the foremost motivation of what he does. I think he wants to make money and get big numbers on YouTube. It's very clear, based on pretty much all of his content, that he unironically thinks his channel falling off and being seen as like a dead, fallen off, washed up YouTuber is like equivalent to death to him. Like, it might be worse than actual real-life death to him. The way that he talks about other YouTubers falling off is, like, it's very clear he sees it as the worst thing that could happen to a person, and he is deathly terrified of this. I think that he's not only a grifter, but a grifter that is very aware of the fact that his grift is very time-limited, and he is desperate to get the most out of it as he possibly can.
Was solely a business decision, rather than a personal one, eliminating the humanity and emotional factors from the situation, with Sunny finishing the video by implying that Chris's transition was merely a strategy for clout, and that his ignorance will ultimately alienate a significant portion of MrBeast's audience. His commentary was perceived as blatant transphobia, leading to backlash.
Well, he described a trans person as an over-the-top LGBT character. There's just no way you can try to twist that into not being transphobic. And I know you're trying to take, like, the SunnyV2 clone approach of, like, trying to talk about this objectively, but the fact that you're misgendering the trans person in question numerous times, and you're also defending this shit in the most pussified way possible, tells me that you're very aware of what you're doing, and you're too much of a pussy to own up to it.
From fans and fellow creators. Within 24 hours, the video gained more than 130,000 dislikes, and SunnyV2's subscriber count was plummeting at an alarming rate. A loss of 20,000 subscribers within a single week revealed a sense of collective disappointment and betrayal throughout his audience.
Well, it's not just his audience, it's the broader YouTube audience, right? SunnyV2 will always have, like, a certain level of core audience that just doesn't care and sticks around and watches his content, but this is about future-proofing his channel, right? No channel makes it on its own in the long term, just like not collabing or working with anybody else. Yeah, SunnyV2 exaggerates his accent significantly. You can see it over the course of his videos. But yeah, like the British accent, like over-exaggeration thing is pretty common with these channels. You know who used to do content just like that, by the way? Who's also like a massive grifting piece of shit? This guy has a really sad amount of credibility on YouTube these days. It's so unfortunate.
Hey. 42.
You guys have seen this channel, right? Thoughty2. This channel is seen as like a big, reliable, educational channel. But if you go to this guy's most popular videos, and you scroll down a minute, you will find an era of content he made that has been interestingly, like, kind of buried. The insidious toxic masculinity myth is damaging humanity. So 4 years ago, he was doing anti-SJW videos. He was doing videos about how the SJWs are bad 4 years ago, but then adapted his content, not really with any level of, like he just does grifty shit now. He's literally just doing clickbait about whatever, because the right-wing reactionary shit fell off. So now he's just kind of moved on from it and tried to make people forget. But yeah, Thoughty2 is also a chud.
Prominent creators like Hasanabi, Ludwig, and Moist Critical expressed their disdain towards SunnyV2's video.
Like, this is a human being. We're talking about a fucking human being, dude. That's crazy.
I watched it and I was in awe about how shit it was.
Yet amidst a wave of criticism, some showed up in...
One thing you'll also notice about this sector of the internet, by the way, is that they champion the idea of being a bad person and getting away with it. A lot of these people online who are like in their edgy teenage phase are very much attached to the idea and champion the idea of being the worst person you can be because it's sort of just edgy and cool, right? And that's just a very popular thing online. It's kind of what fuels a lot of 4chan, a lot of the more edgy sectors of the internet. It's just kind of like being awful for the meme, right? It's sort of like a pale, bad imitation of like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's humor or Filthy Frank's humor, but it always falls flat and just ends up being clearly a dog whistle for what these people truly believe, or more mask off than they'd like to admit. And they'll say it was a joke or a character, though. And so the idea is that, like, oh, if you can say and do awful things but still get by and get away with it, then you're dope for that, right? It's why Donald Trump fans for over, like a decade now have called him Teflon Don, because nothing sticks to him. He can get away with anything. No matter how many crimes he commits, he gets away with it, until recently, obviously. But, like, his nickname was Teflon Don. And they called him that with pride, that, like, no matter what laws he broke or what he did wrong, he could get away with it. His fans see that as, like, an awesome thing about him.
In support of Sunny, underlining the deeply polarized nature of internet discourse. Interestingly enough, despite this being his most disliked video, it also turned out to be the most liked. Comments emphasized his right to express his opinion, while others praised his fearlessness in addressing taboo topics. With Sunny bringing millions of people in light of the situation, Chris's transition quickly became the most trending topic throughout April and May, with the internet seemingly divided in whether Chris's transition was selfish or not. Because you see, one of the biggest arguments criticizing Chris's change was its potential effect on Chris's son. When I first dove into the controversy 2 months ago,
I like like, they're so desperate to try to make it seem like their explanations for how, like, how there could be an issue with her being trans is a problem isn't transphobic. Like, they're desperate to try to find a way to argue that Chris Tyson being trans is bad without it being transphobic. And it's just, it falls flat every time. It's so pathetic.
We examined the potential negative implications that Chris's transition could have on his child.
It's just embarrassing. Like, I don't know how to respond to a video that's just so blatantly lying to me. You know? Like, like the person in this video thinks I'm stupid and is lying to me. And it's because he knows his audience is stupid.
Child's mental health, including some studies highlighting the effects of having a transgender parent. The entire situation...
Wait, oh! What was that from? +1. Oh, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. All right, so this is a study conducted on children of cisgender mothers and transgender... Wait, hold on. Wait, does that mean as in, like, trans man father? Okay. All right, sure. Let's see what the conclusion was. Advances in assisted reproductive technology have created new ways of transgender persons to become parents outside of the context of adoption. Limited empirical data does not support the idea that trans parenthood negatively impacts... Wait, hold on. The limited empirical data does not support the idea that trans parenthood negatively impacts children's development. Wait. So they literally just found a study about this, said it agrees with them, and then just showed it? Okay. Let's read a little further. However, the question has led to lively societal debates, making the need for evidence-based studies urgent. We aim to compare cognitive development, mental health and gender identity, quality of life and family dynamics using standardized instruments and experimental protocols in 32 children, 32, that's a pretty small sample size, who were conceived by donor sperm insemination, DSI, in French couples with a cisgender woman and a transgender man. These are trans men, born as women, transitioned into men. This isn't even, like, dude, how fucking this is the exact article he's showing, by the way. This is literally it. We click back onto the video. This is it. Transgender fathering. It's the same one. So it's about trans men, by the way. And the conclusion is that there's no evidence that trans parenting harms the child. Or at the very least, there's not enough data to even make that conclusion. So we just found a random scientific article about this topic and then cut it off here. The limited... Wait, look at that. Look. You guys see that? Do you see how he cut it off right where it says the limited empirical data does not... Oh, he pulled a Blair White. He took a note out of Blair White's book on this one where she hid that trans women could get cervical cancer if they've had bottom surgery. Ooh. Let's see if he scrolls it down.
Transgender parent.
No, he zooms it in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm very used to dealing with liars. Like, you guys see why I hate dealing with channels like this? They're literally just monetarily motivated. This guy just wants to, like, basically ride in the coattails of SunnyV2, and he's willing to lie to do this. Because, let's be honest, the people who watch these, like, SunnyV2, who watch content like this, are the types of people who, one, know nothing about the content that they're listening to about it. Like, the SunnyV2 videos are videos that just rehash the basic, like, points of big dramas from years and years ago. Like, it's really nothing, like, revolutionary or anything like that. It's for people who, like, stumble down the rabbit hole and to get introduced to it through that, right? So it's for people who have no ability to, like, say, wait, that's bullshit. I know that's bullshit, because it's people who have no idea what they're getting into. It's like, oh, flashy thumbnail, let me click it. So the vast majority of his audience don't have the knowledge going in to call out what he's lying about, because most of them are watching his videos to learn about the thing he's talking about. Yeah, Weasel V2. And this guy's basically just aping that same bit pretty much. Do I have to watch this whole video? It is insane how... Does he get to anything interesting? This guy is legitimately boring and actually making me want to cringe my eyes out. Live
harsh backlash for alleged transphobia. Because on the 10th of February 2022, Sunny uploaded a video exposing ticks and roses and how she managed to build a TikTok profile solely by faking her Tourette syndrome. And while it seemed like SunnyV2 was doing the internet good, by exposing someone faking a disability for clout, Sunny was accused of being transphobic. People claim that despite him explicitly showing ticks and roses pronouns on screen many times throughout the video, he continued to misgender her. One Reddit post reads,
Wait, okay, so what he's trying to do is say, yes, SunnyV2 exposed a Tourette's fake. So for those that don't know, it is fairly common on TikTok for there to be a lot of people who fake disabilities and stuff like that. One of the biggest ones is DID. I know that DID fakers is like a big thing on TikTok. And then there's also a lot of people who fake Tourette's as well. Tourette's is one of the most faked disabilities. And so it's sort of like a weird, like, yeah. And so right-wingers basically weaponize these situations where it's usually like teenagers faking disabilities for attention online to try to claim, like, this is the crazy SJW woke left in their Chinese spy app or whatever. And they use, like, the hatred of TikTok the internet inherently has because it's so cringe as a way of building their right-wing propaganda. It's very common. So essentially... what they do, or what he's doing here, is trying to frame it as though when SunnyV2 called out this supposed Tourette's faker, they might not have been faking, we'll assume they were for the sake of charitability to Sunny. This person was probably non-binary or trans or something, and SunnyV2 refused to use the preferred pronouns, even though they were on screen and everything. I mean, yeah, this is just a blatant show of the fact that SunnyV2 is transphobic. Like, I've literally, like, covered trans predators before whose pronouns I still respect, because one of the things that I think a lot of these dudes don't recognize is that the trans community and people who are pro-trans do not see validating a trans person's gender identity as like a thing you do because you like them or because you want to be nice to them, or that they've earned that respect from you. It's not like an earned respect thing. The whole point of using that label is because you view it as being the correct label. When you say trans women are women, you say it because you mean it. You see trans women as women. You see their identity as she, her, as a woman, as a girl, as valid, right? And if you don't see that identity as valid, that is by definition transphobic. That is what transphobia is. Now, if you literally don't, agree with that, then you're just transphobic. And listen, I get that that's a naughty word and that's a bad word and you don't want to be transphobic because that's so negatively associated, but that's what transphobia is. Don't you think maybe transphobe being such a dirty word means maybe you should reevaluate your transphobic positions and reconsider them? Hell, this guy had to actively seek out a study about trans people that didn't say what he said it was in order to try to make his claim. So he was at least willing to go search out some type of research to back up his opinion. He couldn't find anything that supported what he believed, but either he just didn't read it and just assumed it would agree with him, or he was just relying on the fact that no one would check. So I'm guessing this is just going to end with, like, based SunnyV2 or something like that. Like, haha, based, he beat cancel culture, lefties destroyed, whoa.
This just goes back to the previous point of being ingenuine with his audience. Ninja is a multi-millionaire white guy spending his time playing video games who also seems to be somewhat low in compassion, judging from the way he treats his enemies after he kills them.
But regardless,
oh yeah, this was when SunnyV2 was criticizing Ninja for daring to have progressive political positions he occasionally would express on stream.
regardless of all the drama, SunnyV2 always comes up top, and there's a reason for this.
He always comes up top. No, I'm pretty sure the entire, like, YouTube space now and every creator that's, like, anybody now knows that he's, like, a grifting piece of shit. He lost literally over 100,000 subs. The meat riding is crazy.
His ability to remain unfazed is a key part of his appeal. Given the nature of his content, which often documents the failures and downfalls of others, it's inevitable that he attracts some backlash. So it only makes sense to create a shield against the controversy and never respond. Because SunnyV2 understands that cancel culture often doesn't encourage accountability, but rather uses its power to shame the person getting cancelled. So, Sunny didn't back down from his place and never apologized to the internet. However, his approach could very
Glug 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 glug. That's him right now. That's him swallowing SunnyV2's cock. No kink shaming, Zan. Dude, this guy, hold on. We need to look at this guy's channel. This guy's got the, oh, he's got the douche profile picture. Let's go. Oh my God, the douche vibes. Let's go, dude. This guy's a mega douche. He's got the full on like SunnyV2 style, like art style profile picture. It's like imitating the GTA 5 loading screen art style with like his eyes blacked out over it. Like, I've been canceled. It's like super edgy. He's got pictures in his name to make it seem more official. Dog. He's actually popping off though. He's got the clickbait game down. Oh, he did the, right, oh my God, literally 3 months ago, he clickbaited Mr. Beast with the Where Are Mr. Beast giveaway winners today. These videos are like the most shameless clickbait ever. Oh my God, the Chris Tyson thumbnail with her edited with like red eyes. Are you, this guy's gotta go. Straight to prison, dude. Straight to YouTube jail with this guy. Oh my God, these videos with thumbnails like this are genuinely like the biggest toxin to all of YouTube. They really are. They're like some of the like best examples of how like toxic YouTube can be. And then of course you've got like the bizarre flip-flop where you've got a dick ride big content creators to make money when it's like prime. So 4 months ago, Penguins destroying Sneeko was like the top thing, but now making a video about how SunnyV2 cheated cancel culture and shitting on Chris Tyson is like the top thing, right? The worst YouTube copycats. So we've got more Mr. Beast dick riding. We've got shitting on Aiden Ross because that's popular right now. Why everyone's leaving Twitch for Kick. And then defending SunnyV2. This guy's just trying to clickbait whatever is the most profitable at any given time. The sad thing is his channel will probably take off because most people who watch that type of content are not really interested in the like moral fabric of the person making it. They're just listening to some drivel to put on while they're playing a game. Just like I was when I discovered SunnyV2.